Pleased to meet you. This is Fixed and Folded, the knife review channel for the casual knife collector. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Custom Knife Factory Sokosha in partnership with Anthony Marfione. Okay, let's get into this. So, Custom Knife Factory, my understanding is they are located in Russia. And this Sokosha model is a custom knife designed based on Anthony Marfione's Microtech SOCOM Elite. And you can see the similarity in the handle shape, most notably with these little insert spacers and the finger cutout. The general size is comparable. The Sokosha is a little bit smaller dimensions lengthwise than the SOCOM Elite, both in the handle and the blade. But I find this design lends itself to be more multi-use than the purely stabby tactical SOCOM. This model really caught my eye with the blade shape, having a nice belly, nice sharp edge, like a blade edge, very high flat grind. So almost a clip point. I guess you would call this a clip point because the spine stops here and then you get a long clip, giving this very useful blade shape for multiple tasks. Almost a buoy looking shape. And then that complements the sweeping design of the handle with, you have a 2-finger cutout here, and then a 3rd finger cutout, and then your pinky rests on the back here. Where my thumb naturally rests in the saber grip, you have some moderate traction jimping that is comfortable and matches into the blade, from the handle into the blade here. So you can do thumb forward and still have some traction on the blade, and it's everything except for the cutting edge has been smoothed, and so there are no sharp edges on the knife other than the tip and the cutting edge. Fit and finish is top quality. This is probably the finest built knife that I've owned. The only knife in the same price range that I owned was a Medford Fighter Flipper, which is this beast like 10 inches long and like 3 pounds or something. And as impressive as that knife was to look at and hold, that one had lock stick so bad that I needed a big screwdriver just to release the lock, and 100 times working it didn't loosen up a bit at all. So the action on that with that was a frame lock in the titanium frame. The action was on that model was awful. So then once you did get the frame lock to release the blade action was nice. But so this is the only knife in that price range that I've owned, and other than that one, and this is the exact opposite for action. The inset integral liner lock, I'm probably using the wrong terminology again for everything. I think this is called an inset liner. You have oh no, I don't know if anything's stainless steel on here. Probably all the hardware is going to be titanium. Just know that all the hardware and all the materials are top quality. I don't know if this is a stainless liner. This is probably a titanium liner. I'm a casual knife collector, so please correct me. I'll just say this is a metal liner, inset liner, and the lockup is good. When people say like 30% lockup, 40% lockup, I'm just assuming they mean the amount that the liner covers the blade stock, the blade. And when I'm looking at it, I would say this is 40% lockup with the liner into the blade stock. And the deployment or the release of the liner is effortlessly smooth. And then you have apparently something like 2-row caged ceramic bearings for the pivot surrounds, and you have it sounds like ceramic rubbing up against something. It's not the most pleasing sound in the world, but it is incredibly smooth. This is how it's supposed to sound. And the thumb, the breaking the detent with the thumb is a pleasure. It's just perfect. It's like a medium detent, really smooth. And then once you break about here, so there's some resistance until you break about here, and then it's just free swinging on the double row cage ceramic bearings. So the blade steel is M398, and from what my nerd research revealed is that M398 has significantly higher edge retention than M390, which is itself a premium steel. But M398 has lower toughness and lower stainlessness. So this is going to be, I'm guessing, 7 out of 10 stainlessness, 3 out of 10 toughness, and very high edge retention. This is more higher edge retention than S90V between S110V. This is about LMAX 2 level between S110V and S125V, around LMAX 2 level. So extremely high edge retention. You've got titanium handle scales, titanium pocket clip, and carbon fiber inserts on the show side. I believe the pivot is a 25 Torx, and then I don't know about the side screws here. They are T8s. The body screws are T8s, which is fine. You have a built-in lanyard hole into the handle. You have a removable glass breaker with a not pokey ball bearing in the end here. Not offensive at all to my hand or the pocket. The knife case comes with here, this padded knife case. When you Velcro it open, you get a card displaying the materials that the different models come with. Either this says M398 or Damasteel blade and titanium and carbon fiber handle, or zirconium and zircotite inserts. And this says the designer is Anthony Marfione and A. Malashev. This one was made on October 24th, and the serial number on this one is number 508. I'm pretty sure Sokosha's and Custom Knife Factory knives do runs in around 500, some plus or minus, so this is a bit over 500 for this one. If I didn't mention already, this is a DLC coating, to my knowledge. So the detail in the back is gorgeous. You have a backspacer pattern about the same dimensions as the jimping on the front in terms of the spacing. You have this just cool shapes in here with a little triangle toppy thing. This looks, at first glance, this looks like an integral where it's all one milled piece of titanium, but it's not. There is, this is an extended, one extended back spacer piece. Pocket clip is perfectly comfortable to my hand. No hot spots. My third finger rests on the dimple into here. And this is a deep carry if you remove the glass breaker. There is a spare, there's all spare hardware in the case, spare pivot, spare screws, and a titanium butt cap, flat butt cap, if you want to replace the glass breaker and have a full deep carry. The coating is, from what I understand, it's DLC on the handle and the blade, and it does look uniform. I have done food prep with this blade, and it does well. It's not going to be as good as a dedicated Santoku kitchen knife that has a really thin blade stock, but this will do food prep well. The different hand grips, I would say saber grip, thumb forward, reverse grip. You can kind of choke up on this. I would say this is really just a generous sharpening choil with a suggestion of choking up. I have big sausage fingers. You can see if I were to try and do a full choke up, not a good idea, but I can move my fingers back and choke up just over the crest here. And because all the surfaces are rounded, it's not uncomfortable, and I can gingerly do a choke up if I would just want even more control over the tip and the blade. Blade stock thickness is pretty thick. The overall length of the knife is 8.5 inches. The blade length is 3.6 inches or 3.5 inches total, with a cutting edge of 3.25 inches. And total practical handle length in the main back position is 4 inches. The weight on the knife is between light and medium. Let's see how many grams or ounces my scale will tell us. All right, so 5.1 ounces is on the heavy side for me. If a knife is between 3 and 4 ounces, that's light. If it's between 4 and 5, it's medium, and if it's over 5, it's heavy. So this is borderline heavy. You can feel it. It's just it doesn't feel heavy because the balance is so perfect for the blade and the handle. It masks the weight of the knife. You do have milled out handle in the bottom portion here. If you can't see, trust me, there's 2 big sections milled out to reduce weight. And on the liner side, it's not milled out. The feel in hand is, like, in terms of just overall impression of balance and ergonomics, is top level. I wear extra large gloves, and you can see my fingers fit really well here, and even if I were to go back on this area, it's still very comfortable. So even if you have double XL hands, you'll find this handle area to be comfortable. The blade shape, in terms of the stock, it starts to taper right at the flat when it clips off, and then it goes down to a needle point. So this is a blade designed not only to be durable with the thickness, but also a great piercer and slicer. And with M398, apparently you're not going to have to sharpen this very often. It's going to really hold its edge doing normal knife tasks, cutting through things that are not, metal, rock, bone. If you're cutting through normal knife things, even cardboard is pretty abrasive to a knife. You can cut with this for extended periods without having to sharpen. Well, compare this again to the factory production SOCOM Elite. The Elite's handle is longer, but the usable portion of the handle kind of ends here. The taper, I don't really know what it's for. My hands end before the taper starts. And the blade is longer on the SOCOM Elite, just giving you more distance for piercing things. And this shape is going to be marginally more practical for slicing, push cutting over this one, which is still going to do those tasks, but you can see this will just be a bit more efficient just because it's got more belly and a bit of a higher, it's got a bit of a higher point where the edge starts. This one is, it's a high saber grind. This is a very high saber grind, and then from the clip, it's a full flat. Feel in hand, they feel similar in hand. This is aluminum handle. Handle thickness is comparable. Design a little bit different. You've got your thumb ramp here, where this one you don't. But I'm perfectly fine with that, even for tactical knives, as long as there's a finger guard on the bottom. I feel secure that my hands are not going to slide forward during piercing. And then on the other side, you can do thumb forward. You have a similar amount of suggestion of a choke up here, and I would do the same thing. I wouldn't go all the way forward with my hand. I would go back a bit, and then you have a bit of more room to choke up, do some more control work. So these knives could be used in the same situations for the same person, except this one costs twice as much as this one. And this one is more refined. The action on the inset liner is smoother. The caged bearings drop more effortlessly. This one takes significantly more effort to release the liner, and then you got to shake this shut, and it's more deliberate of an open. Okay, let's do an overall size comparison here with my regular knife. So this is a medium-sized knife, about the size of a bug out or a para 3, tiny bit longer. This is 7.5 inches total length. Go up a size, I call these full size. This is 8.25 inches total length, 8.5 inches, 8.75 inches, and 9 inches. All incrementally larger. So you get an idea of where the Sokosha fits here. I'm very happy that I own this knife. I will be keeping this knife. and I will be using this knife. This is not just a collector knife. As a casual knife collector, I want to be able to use every knife that I own. I don't want to have any art piece knives that I buy just to appreciate the design and that I won't use. When I do that, once I get to that point, I'm going to have to stop calling myself a casual knife collector, and I'll call myself, I don't know, something else. Price on this. I bought this at Bladezilla in Calgary, Canada. I also live in Calgary, Canada, and it's just most convenient for it to get shipped out to me for $25 from his house. All in, including tax and shipping, this was $1,200 Canadian. That's a very high price for a folding knife, but this is a very high quality folding knife. By comparison, the model that this is inspired off of, SOCOM Elite, all in costs around $600 Canadian, maybe $550 if you get it on a Boxing Day sale deal. Is this worth twice as much as this? For me, yes. The experience of deployment and the feel and the quality, they're both very high quality. The refinement of this is noticeable. This is like a luxury car version of the regular car, okay? And if you've ever owned a luxury car or been in a luxury car enough, driven one, usually you can tell that it's a more refined experience that is worth paying more than, regular car. And that's where this falls in. This is a luxury knife, and the quality is there. Okay, well, what else should I say about this? The thumb stud position is excellent. So you've got your finger cut out, it slides into the thumb stud. The shape of the thumb studs is rounded and smoothed. You can do a slow roll, and then once the thumb studs rest, they rest right up against the frame, so they are part of the locking stability mechanism of the blade into the handle. And so again, that aids with stability and security for use of a folding knife that approaches fixed blade knife in terms of blade, there being no up, down, left, right blade play. Okay, I guess I will conclude my review of the Custom Knife Factory Sokosha Anthony Marfione collaboration with carbon fiber, titanium, and M398. Hope you all have a great day. I will have more knife reviews coming soon. Take care.